Alright, for this lesson, we will start with camera settings. So, for shooting, I'm using Canon 60D, and 60D is a good DSLR camera and having lots of great features to control your camera manually and automatically. The movable screen of this camera is very helpful for shooting of low angle shots and wide top angle shots. The high ISO, it's also really very great feature. You can go up to 6400 ISO, and the shutter speed is 1 by 8000, and a built-in microphone for audio recording. And the 60D is also have ability to shoot full HD videos that 24 fps and 30 fps, and you can shoot 60 fps videos also that but the footage will be 720p. And the best part of this camera, which I like more, is I can control this camera from my desktop or laptop by a Canon EOS utility, which I will cover in next lesson. So you want to shoot a footage for your effect shots? Great. For that, you need to understand camera settings such as aperture, ISO, and shutter speed. I will cover these three concepts one by one. So let's start with aperture. Alright, what is aperture? Aperture is a hole or an opening through which lights travel. Yeah? Yes, it is simply like that. You can see here the f number, f2.8, which shows a large aperture, and f22, which is a small aperture. All right. In aperture or f-stop, this theory is looking inversely. All right. It's actually inversing. The smaller the number, the larger the aperture, and this larger number, small aperture. All right. So, what this smaller number and this larger number is doing, I'll tell you. When you have the smaller f number or larger aperture, you will get a shallow depth of field, nice and blurry background. And another benefit for having a large aperture, you will have lots of lights into your camera. Well, in this aperture range, uh, if the f number is 22, and which is small aperture, you will have limited light into camera, and your shutter speed should be slow, and everything will be in focus. So the thing which distinguishes us is larger aperture is good if you want to more light into your camera, and this is reduce your more light into camera. So for next setting is shutter speed. The shutter speed or a exposure time is the effective time when the camera shutter is open. Okay, the shutter speed along with the aperture of the lens, that is also called f number, determine how much light reach the film sensor. So here I have three values which is standard. Like for film effect look, just double the frame rate. So if you're using 24 fps in your video settings, just try to make the shutter speed 50 fps, and if you are using 30 fps video, make it 60 fps, and same rule apply for 60 fps video. Just make your video shutter speed is 125 fps. All right. Here, don't be confused. These two settings are different. These settings I'm talking about the video settings, and these FPS settings are camera shutter speed settings. Okay, these two are different. You can go to higher shutter speed also, but it's okay if there is not too much movement in your footage. And the another drawback, if you going too high speed, like your footage will be darker. So just in that case you have to reduce your f number, which we previously discussed, that the larger aperture, you need that larger aperture that will help you to maintain your light. All right, so for that, next, ISO. And the ISO measure the sensitivity of a image sensor. And right, the same principle apply in film photography. The lower the number, the less sensitive your camera is to light, and the finer the grain, the higher the ISO settings, and generally used for darkened situation. Yeah, like if there is not enough light to shoot that situation scene. Um, so here I have an image which is showing that ISO 100 very less grains, ISO 200 higher than that, and you can see that up to 3200 you will get grain, and if you're going beyond that value you will get more grains. Obviously your image will be brightened, but you will have some grains and noise, which is sometime you don't want in your final footage, and it's just really painful when you are composing that shots. So just keep that in your mind. Do you want grains in your shot or not? Okay, so there are some standard ISO values, which is 160, 320, 640, 1250, 1600, and 2500, which is giving you a good ISO. So this is for ISO, and next is for lens. Okay, I'm using Canon 50 mm 1.8, and that f number. Now you understand that f number which we talked about in aperture, and this is having a large aperture, which is a very small number. So with that I can get these nice blurry background, and my subject is in focus, sharp focus. Same you can see here, I can have a very nice bouquet effect here, very less more. And also this lens is not too much expensive, it's a very cheap lens from Canon, and compared to the quality it is amazing. So for beginner or for FX professionals, you should have this lens with you. I'll show you one more example of bokeh effect. Is this. Here you can see this nice background with these bokeh. So this is for the camera settings, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you.